Rise and shine, it's Magic Monday time. My name is Comet, and I'm here to guide you through this week's astrology, talking all about the week of March 7th to March 13th and the cosmic potency that it holds, some notable events of this week: Sun conjunct Neptune, Mercury enters Pisces, and first quarter moon in Gemini, adding some pressure to our Pisces new moon intentions. And I'll be breaking down what that means for your life, how to synchronize with these energies, what to be mindful of within the cosmos in order to live your most magical, aligned life. So I am here every single Monday, 2:30 a.m. PST, 5:30 a.m. EST. If you feel so inclined, I would really appreciate a like, subscription, any little nudge that you want to give it. I am so grateful for. And I just want to make a quick announcement or note, I guess. I'm so sorry that I missed the past 2 Friday uploads. It will continue this Friday with Libra Rising and the following with how to read a solar return chart. I just needed to give love to a project that you'll be hearing about very, very soon, like tomorrow soon. So make sure to check back on my channel if you're interested to see what it could be. And thank you for your patience and grace, allowing me those 2 Fridays off, essentially, to get all my ducks in the row for this powerful new offering that I'm so excited about. So without further ado, let's take it to the vibe check of the week. So vibe check of the week is essentially likening the astrology to a feeling, an emotion, or in this case, this week's, is a trope. A trope, and it's a common one. It's an overused one in TV shows, books, so on and so forth, but I'll describe to you what it is. So a miscommunication trope is when 2 characters in a movie or TV show or book misunderstand one another, and then it serves as a plot device, and it's funny. It's like, oh, I thought you were talking about this. I was talking about this. Or there's just some sort of misunderstanding, miscommunication that drives the plot along. And you might have noticed this in media you consume or even in your life. If you could comment below a funny misunderstanding, or if you can think of one from a movie, TV show, a couple that could come to mind. Personally, I will never forget this. I'm still so embarrassed about this. I remember I met someone, it was around May, and she was a friend of a friend, and I was just like chatting her up, and she mentioned that her birthday was the week prior. And I said, oh, you're a Taurus. You know, obviously, I love astrology. I talk about it all the time. I try not to, but I can't help myself sometimes. So I was like, happy birthday, you're a Taurus. And she tells me she's from San Diego. So I thought maybe my friend had told her I'm an astrologer, and maybe her telling me that she's from San Diego is telling me her birth location. So I started doing her chart. I was like, oh, okay. So I put in, I was like, oh, your birthday was last Thursday, and I'm putting in San Diego, and she's kind of just like being nice and like playing along, but also just like, girl, what? And turns out she thought I said that I was calling her a tourist. Like she was not from San Diego. So she's like, no, I'm from San Diego. But yeah, so I launched into a birth reading, which she did end up enjoying, but she was just confused why we were taking it there. And from a couple of media, a couple that jumped to mind, never seen the show Airplane, but I know this line, you might know this line, but someone's telling something to the pilot, and they say, surely you can't be serious. And the pilot says, I am serious. And don't call me Shirley. So whether you know an example from media, you know example in real life, this week's astrology feels like a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding that could breed some creativity and inspiration, certainly, but a misunderstanding nonetheless. 2 people walking away from a conversation or a situation with totally different ideas within their head of where it was particularly going. And there is this opportunity because Mercury enters Pisces, which it's not comfy, it hates it there, it's confused there, but it does sextile Uranus. So it's almost like that gal was just trying to tell me that she was from San Diego, not a tourist at all, and I was there giving her a birth reading. She ended up liking it. So again, there's opportunity within that misunderstanding, but alas, it's still a misunderstanding. There's still sort of this confusing yet glamorous sheen of the week with Sun meeting up with Neptune. So I'll be breaking down where you can feel this energy within your life and how to synchronize it. Let's start with Monday, March 7th. So Monday, March 7th is my boyfriend's birthday. Happy birthday. Yes, we are two Pisces, and that is a whole experience on its own. He's always typically like the first or second like on Magic Mondays, so I appreciate your support. Thank you very much. Happy birthday. And for all of us, we have an exalted moon Monday, which is great. It's in Taurus, and Taurus moons really support our sensuality. It supports our enjoyment of sort of like the physical material realm. The moon does sextile Jupiter in the morning time and also sextiles the sun in Pisces. So you might find that you're inclined to grab a latte on the way to work or find some enjoyment like within your workspace. Like rather than just jumping into work, shoving half a banana in your face and starting, maybe you like turn on your essential oil diffuser, light a little candle, like really set the mood so that you're really ready to dig in and handle what needs to be handled, albeit in a slow, methodical Taurian way, right? The morning feels really optimistic and hopeful, and then that bubble sort of pops in the afternoon as the Taurus moon does square Saturn in Aquarius. So you might find that the pace that you want to take things is reaching a tension point with maybe authority figures or someone who's like, you need to work on this faster, but Taurus is just enjoying the process. Taurus will get it over the finish line, but at their own pace, you know? And with the square to Saturn, there could be just stuff that's cramping your vibe in terms of what it is that you're working on. And then that evening, the Taurus moon sextiles Neptune in Pisces, which really brings in this energy of forgiveness, of hope, of compassion. I would definitely say, has anyone else been taking an obscene amount of baths this Pisces season? Anyone else? Because I would say on Monday night, definitely great bath energy. Taurus moon delights in the physical, sensual realm, and Pisces obviously is a water sign, and it can be just such a spiritually renewing, healing experience being in the bath. I mean, all I've been doing Pisces season is working on the aforementioned project and bathing and reading. That's about it. And it's not that a bath will solve your problems, but it'll certainly help. You'll certainly see the world a little differently after a bath with some delicious scents to delight in the Taurus moon, maybe a candle. Seriously, on Monday, set the vibe. There does feel to be this pressure or this blahness. Set the vibe, eat something delicious, work at your own pace despite the pressure. It's better to be done right than to be done rushed. So take your sweet time and enjoy the process. On Tuesday, the 8th, we have a Taurus moon morning, and the Taurus moon bickers with Mercury in Aquarius, which is just about to leave. So with Mercury at the anaretic degree, the last degree, 29th degree, there is this urgency feeling. And with the Taurus moon, again, I feel like with that Saturn and with that Mercury, someone's like pressuring us, or like you might be pressuring yourself, putting like deadlines or pressure on you. And with the Taurus moon square Mercury in Aquarius, because of that urgency, just be mindful that you're double checking the little details, that you're not rushing it over the finish line, slow and steady. And again, with the vibe check around miscommunication, just being mindful that you have the right idea so you don't go write your whole paper on the Doors, the band, when they actually meant literally write a paper on doors, like the history of doors, hinges. Guys, not a great example. I don't know where my creativity has gone, but you get what I mean. Just making sure you have the details of it. And the moon will be void until it enters Gemini at 10:40 a.m. And with that void moon morning, you know, this is hotly debated in the astrology community whether or not the moon can really go void in Taurus, since it does perform so well there. So my advice is just be patient, work on what needs to be worked on, plod through it. And then when the moon enters Gemini, again, it's answering to that urgent Mercury. So again, there's a lot of communicative energy on Tuesday of messages going from place to place. And again, Gemini moon is curious, it's quick, it's communicative, and it might be so quick that it misses important details, that this is playing telephone. Like this week is really a game of telephone and someone's getting something wrong. And on Tuesday, it feels like because of that urgent Mercury, which the moon is answering to, since it is a Gemini moon. And again, Gemini moon can be distracted. It could be, you know, it's sort of a social butterfly, spreading message to message. So again, it might not have all the details necessarily. It is anchored by a nice trine to Venus and Mars, which are newly in Aquarius. So it is great for communication, connecting, harmonizing groups of people. So if there's a conversation you need to have, some feathers you need to smooth, the Gemini moon trine Venus in Aquarius will support with that in smoothing those feathers, whereas the Gemini moon trine Mars in Aquarius will help you get the confidence to reach out and mention it to that person. That happens in the afternoon around 2 or 3 p.m. PST. Wednesday, the 9th. So this is the day Mercury enters Pisces. And Mercury does not enjoy being in Pisces. If you are interested in diving deeper into dignity, I do talk about it in the Astrology Transits 101 video. But essentially, planets have places they thrive. They're like, yes, this sector of the sky is for me. I'm able to Mercury my Mercurius Mercury, and that's Mercury in Virgo, Mercury in Gemini. It loves being there. And then there's territories where it's like, ooh, this is not the place for me. Get me out. Luckily, Mercury is zooming. It's zooming. And I keep reiterating this like Magic Monday after Magic Monday. I know you guys are so sick of it and you're like, I don't even know what to launch necessarily. But I'm just saying there's a lot of forward momentum in the cosmos, like looking forward. You know, if something didn't work out, keep looking forward. Look for the opportunities. Keep the gaze forward. We'll have retrogrades to get your breath if you are feeling exhausted. Me personally, I'm definitely feeling a little exhausted, but I'm trying to take advantage of all of this really fertile cosmic energy. But again, let the gaze of your focus be onwards and upwards, because there's a lot of really pulsing, excited energy as we thrust forward. So even with the miscommunication energy, Mercury really won't be in Pisces for very long. It enters Aries towards the end of the month. So it's zooming through Pisces. It's like, get me out of here. I don't like it. And here's why Mercury doesn't like Pisces. Because Mercury is about the facts, the figures, the details. And when it's in Pisces, Pisces is not about the details. It's about the dream. It's about the vision. And so with Mercury in Pisces, you can notice your head is in a daydream, your head is in a cloud, which maybe could cause the miscommunication. It could be harder to stay focused, especially on Wednesday with the Gemini moon, and the Gemini moon bickers with Jupiter in Pisces, so we could definitely find it's harder to stay on track. And it's also, you know, this is a great energy to make sure that you're double checking, that you're really making sure, okay, did I hear you correctly? Did you say Shirley, like Shirley, or did you call me Shirley? You know, like whatever that miscommunication energy, you really cannot be too sure. And with Mercury Pisces, we can be a little bit more emotional in terms of like our thought processes and our analytical strategy. Inspired. That's why it's like, I hate when people feel like their chart is flawed if they have a certain position. Like if you have natal Mercury in Pisces, there is nothing wrong with you, even though Mercury isn't dignified in Pisces. If you look at Mercury Pisces, there is an obscene amount of them who are writers and poets because they have this ability to transmit, you know, a feeling and a dream, Pisces, via their words, via their language. So it's not a bad thing. I would just say, as we wade through this cosmic energy, be sure, stay on focus. Maybe on Wednesday, have a little to-do list. Check it twice. And on Thursday, the 10th, there is some confused energy happening in the middle of the night. So you could also feel this on Wednesday as that Gemini moon fights with Sun in Pisces. It fights with Neptune in Pisces. So again, Gemini moon wants to communicate, but it's not communicating the right things. That game of telephone is getting lost in the mix, right? I said Taurus, she heard Taurus. You know, those little things. And again, with Gemini moon, it wants to like spread all the info, but it's like, do we have the right info? And it's basically void all day. So again, with the closing aspect being the Gemini moon squaring Neptune in Pisces on Thursday, being mindful if you have a press release to send out or a social media post or something around communication, double checking. With the Gemini moon square Neptune in Pisces, we could be missing important details. The moon's void, so it could be hard to just get that message out. And then the moon enters Cancer that evening at 11:24 p.m. PST. I also want to highlight about Thursday. It happened like in the middle of the night, like Wednesday night, Thursday night, but it's the first quarter moon. So this is the crisis of action phase. If you're part of my moon workshop, you know what I'm talking about. And this is all about sort of a crisis around taking action or overcoming a challenge that could arise in the moon cycle. So I also just want to highlight with the astrology, like you could be feeling this crisis energy around, I've got to do this, I've got to get this out now. But again, it's better to be right than it is to be rushed. It's better to have the right message rather than a mumbled game of telephone, right? So there can be this feeling of crisis, but also I don't want you to give up if challenges simmer. Like, I'm never going to put out this press release. Put out the press release, just maybe wait until the moon enters Cancer on Friday. Then we'll be in the waxing gibbous moon phase, which is about perfecting and improving as we lead up to the big illumination, next week's full moon in Virgo, which I'm so excited for. So I just want to say on Thursday, there might be this crisis feeling, there might be these challenges, you might be feeling overwhelmed, you might be feeling all over the place. If that comes up on Thursday, I want you to just take a deep breath and be like, okay, first quarter moon is doing first quarter moon things. And then on Friday the 11th, it's honestly a really nice day. The moon is in its rulership in Cancer, so the moon is very happy. And with a moon in Cancer, it really draws our awareness to the home, the hearth, our domestic responsibilities, what it is that makes us feel safe. The Cancer moon does trine Mercury in Pisces, which is helpful for communication, but particularly communication that is more emotionally driven. You can find you're more in touch with your emotions, more able to articulate your emotions or what's coming up in a way that feels good for you. Again, with Cancer moon, we can notice our fluctuating emotions going up and down and waxing and waning. So just being gentle with that. There does seem to be a triggering of a sore spot with the Cancer moon squaring Chiron and Aries. Like in the example that I gave, like it felt super embarrassing that I was giving this person a birth chart reading when that was not what they meant at all. But I jumped ahead. I was like, oh, birth location. You're from San Diego. Let's do a reading. So again, when there's a square to Chiron and Aries, it's almost like this internal ouch, you know, like, ooh, I was being too much. I'm always the one to bring up astrology. Like, gosh, Haley, like calm it down. Wherever that is, just being mindful and giving to yourself. It does feel, I feel like Friday wouldn't be necessarily the day that I would want to go out on the town. Cancer moon tends to delight in the home, what makes them feel safe. And with the square to Chiron and Aries, some self-care could be in order. It does, the moon that is, does sextile Uranus and Taurus that evening. So it could be great to cook a delicious meal or rearrange something, rework something within the home. Saturday the 12th is a water sign party. And I just want to do a little check-in. How are you guys doing with Pisces season? Because me and my fellow water signs are thriving. We love this. We feel this emotional all the time. But I talk to my friends who are primarily fire and air, and they're like, you really live like this? I've been crying every single day. I've been thinking about my 5th grade ex. I've been taking baths all the time. I'm like, yeah, this is how water signs be living. So just checking in, how has Pisces season been for you? Has it been magical, creative, inspired, spiritual, or has it been super emotional? I'm just curious to hear. But on Saturday, depending on how you do with all the water energy, Saturday is watery as can be. So again, a lot of emotions, which is nice. With Cancer moon, it does feel really nurtured by the close, intimate relationships within their world, spending time with family members, spending time with friends who feel like family, spending time, you know, nurturing those deep bonds. Because if there's one thing Pisces and Cancer knows how to do, it's love and feel. So again, deep in the feels on Saturday. That could be really high highs, that could be really low lows. Remember, with the moon in Cancer, nurture yourself. If you know, like all of your friends are like, come to this party, and you're like, that is just so not what I need right now. Like, I really just need to stay home and take care of myself. I really want you to honor that, because with so much Pisces and we're building to that Sun conjunct Neptune, we could just notice we're more sensitive. Our boundaries are sort of lowered. We could be more in our heart space, which is great if you're surrounded by, you know, the right people. But if you're at a party with like all sorts of energies, it just might feel sort of overwhelming. So just really important this weekend to take great care of yourself. And the water energy in question is that the Sun in Pisces trines the Cancer moon. The Cancer moon trines Jupiter in Pisces, and it trines Neptune in Pisces. So all of the feels, and again, with the trine of Jupiter, it could be really great feels. It could be feeling really loving and compassioning and soul-centered, but also just being gentle if a lot's coming up around that time. Good and bad. Emotions tend to be a mixed bag. And then on Sunday, the 13th, it is daylight savings. So for my loves who celebrate that, or they're at a place where it celebrates that, be sure to change your clocks. I'm so excited, guys. I am so excited. I don't love losing an hour, but my gosh, it's so nice to be able to take a walk after work or run after work. That's really where it cramps my style, is like the sun going down at 5:30, and I typically don't wrap up with work till 6:30 or 6:45. So it's just like, the sun, I want to run at sunset. Oh my gosh. So let me know your emotions on the daylight savings, but I personally love it. And this is the day that the sun conjoins Neptune. So it feels very sleepy. Especially with the moon void at 8:44 a.m. PST. I mean, we're losing hours, so you're going to sleep in anyway, but it's going to feel really disorienting and confusing. This is why the Neptune energy sort of plays into the vibe check of the week is because Neptune dissolves, it confuses, it merges boundaries. So in terms of ourselves, our sun, right, ego identity, the luminary of ego identity and self-expression, we could be feeling confused, we could struggle with our boundaries, we could sort of be taking on stuff from other people, which is why I was saying really be attentive to who you share your energy with and around. And it also just creates this sort of like dreamy, creative, yes, but confused energy as well. Definitely important to mind any escapism, anything that you turn to check out or anything of the nature. And a lot of people, you know, their escapism is sleeping or reading, and that's all good. Like Sunday, definitely escape, but escape into a not destructive way, right? And just be gentle with yourself if you find you're extra sleepy that morning, because the moon's void anyway, so you're totally fine. And it doesn't enter Leo until 12:32 p.m. PST. So then you could find you get a burst of energy with the moon entering Leo. You can find that you are really creative. Honestly, I would definitely recommend if you are creative on Sunday to pencil some time for that, because Sun conjoining Neptune, it's inspired, it's downloads, it's being a conduit, and with the Leo moon, there is this call to want to create, to want to express themselves. Just make sure that you got the message straight before you communicate it. And with Mercury in Pisces, just try not to overthink it. Just try to let it flow, let it come out of you. With Mercury in Pisces, we can feel like our head is underwater, or it's like harder to arrive to the conclusion, or even just like harder to talk. But we can find if we just sink into the flow of Pisces season, we can find it's a very artistic, creative, lovely, compassionate time, albeit we might miss or confuse a message here and there, but it can lead to a laugh, a chuckle. Friends, the Magic Monday mantra of the week is, I honor my boundaries. And this is inspired from Sun conjunct Neptune. So important, especially with the Cancer moon kind of over the weekend, to just honor what it is that you need in that moment. Check in. What is coming to the surface? What is it that you need within that moment? Even if you let someone down by maybe not going to that party because you just know that you need to stay at home and sleep, you just know that you need to hang out with your sister, whatever it is, I want you to honor that. It's hard with Sun conjunct Neptune because it expands our heart space a lot. Like, we're more altruistic and we're more compassionate, which would be another great way to funnel all of this water sign energy. But honor your boundaries, not just your social boundaries, but also your news consumption boundaries. It's a very heavy time within the world, so just honoring what it is that you need within that moment. It is not selfish to give to yourself and honor what it is that you need. So loves, I'm sending so much love your way. Have a beautiful week. Check back on my channel tomorrow for an exciting announcement, and until we meet again, drink lots of water and stay magical.